and welcome back to Shifty FX. What we're going to do again today is your weekly outlook and breaking down our DXY, Euro USD and GBP USD pairs. What we see on DXY is we've had a doji candle, not giving us a clear indication on the monthly of a draw on liquidity, understanding that we try and target our previous month's high given how it closes. So in situations like this, what we need to try and understand is how can we understand where our next potential draw is going to be. We've traded within this monthly, we've taken the previous month's high, we've gone up, we've wicked up, we've tailed down, and we've closed 50-50 essentially. Okay, so this is where we need to rely on our lower time frame. If we drop down to the weekly, it will give us a better indication of where we potentially set to trade towards. Okay, so just looking at this, map this high and this high, you'll see that given the weekly structure, we are more inclined to continue to the upside. Like we predicted and forecasted in last week's, we put in two scenarios in place. Okay, so what we assessed is if market closes below this week and continues pushing all the way down, we would assume that this swing is going to get targeted, inverting this. Okay, but what we saw is we had this weekly fair value gap with an overlapping order block. Okay, great confluence. Market has then taken it early in the market. Like we said, if Monday opens, takes the previous week's low early and closes in, it is almost guaranteed that we could potentially close to the upside. Okay, it's a good indication given that market structure is so bullish. And that's exactly what's happened. So with that being said, I'm more inclined to be bullish. So I can take away that. And this would be my monthly draw on liquidity. This swing high. Okay. As you've seen, we've traded into these levels that I mentioned, into your discounted zone. Over there. Okay, and given a strong bullish close to the upside. So with that being said, we can see a sweep of liquidity, and that would be my immediate draw on liquidity on the weekly. So weekly draw of liquidity. Okay, great. We have our scenario in play. We're bullish. Our lowest hanging fruit is this area here. Do we see any interference over here on the weekly so far? No, then it's giving us a pretty good indication that this is low resistance. We don't see a lot of fair value gaps, no momentum down. So if we tend to break up now, just looking at the weekly, we could see a continuation to this swing. So let's drop down to the daily. All right. And here you can see it on the daily. We said if Monday opens, takes it quickly and closes up, the rest of the week we are most likely going to be bullish. And that's exactly what happened. We managed to capitalize on some fantastic trades. What we see here on the daily is our volume imbalance that market drew towards. We took a great trade on EU, waiting for this draw. So if we go here, I'm pretty certain this on a lower time frame is just a gap up, but for now it is a volume imbalance on the daily. And you'll see right now we've managed to close above and confirm a change in the state of delivery. Okay. On the daily, we've had a fair value gap in, which has been inverted. We've seen momentum out now, this volume imbalance, and market is now pushing to the upside. Do we see any potential interference over here? Well, we've got this order block with a small fair value gap that we could see a bit of resistance. But apart from that, I would still want to see it continue up. Okay, I do want to see this swing high get taken. If we go the 4 hour, you'll see there's the gap that we mentioned. Market drew into this, took 1, 2, 3 previous days lows, okay, and closed to the upside. We've swept a swing, giving us, apologies, taken liquidity. Okay, that's fantastic. And given a fairly strong push to the upside here. Okay, so liquidity's been taken. We've tapped into this 1 hour. Okay, so we've mitigated, swept liquidity, and then continued up, creating more fair value gap, showing more momentum to the upside. Okay, so this is good for bullish favor. Don't have to complicate it. We're looking at these fair value gaps, and we can pretty much conclude from this point that market is bullish. What we might want to see, given that there's your change in state of delivery again, market's already mitigated in here. I wouldn't mind seeing market open up, just hover around a little bit, even if Asian range takes this, depending on how market opens, draw down and maybe take out this swing, given that it's the most obvious liquidity that I see standing out for me to continue to the upside. All right, so that's my sell side. If we drop to, let's have the 15-minute, let's have a look. Okay, so let's see what we're dealing with. Okay, good. So we have a big fair value gap over here. This is obviously from Friday. I think this had to do with the tariffs that Trump was enforcing. I wasn't not too sure, but we've seen a big candle move pretty late in the day. I would like to see these relative equal lows get taken. You see there's a swing on the lower time frame. Okay, so we might see market open, trade lower, sweep that liquidity, mitigate this, maybe even tap into this order block. You'll see there's your inversion, break to the upside, and then continue for this immediate draw on liquidity, being the weekly draw on liquidity. Okay, so understanding that's our bias, let's go back to the weekly and have a look at EU. All right, so EU, lovely sweep of the previous week's high and closing bearish, giving us one direction, and that's bearish for now. Lowest hanging fruit, my immediate draw over here. That's my weekly draw on liquidity, and like we discussed on DXY, anticipating to go up, this would be my swing draw to the downside. We traded back into premium. Okay, again, like I keep on mentioning, we don't have to complicate things. Don't try and find a reason. That's your swing. Swing high to swing low into premium, strong close, 2 candle theory, anticipating this week to go. Let's have a look on the daily. Okay, great. Fair value gap, respected. I think it was a bit clearer on the 1 hour. This is a trade we managed to capitalize on. Really simple process. What we had is clear buy side within this area. Market traded up. This is where DXY filled that gap, okay? And we managed to get in on the same entry criteria that I always preach every single time. On this occasion, I used a 5-minute engulfing process using 2 candles. And if I drop over here, I can show you those 2 candles. So there, 1, 2, managed to get in the trade, ride it all the way down to this swing, and I closed out. But if we go back to the hour, because this is just your outlook, we could potentially see, let's have a look here. I think we're going to see the weekly low taken quickly. Just given how low it's closed towards that area, it didn't really give the week enough chance to create a bit of a pullback and a tail. So we've closed quite low. Let's see if we've got anything on the 15. Yeah, nice. So same thing on DXY. This is a pretty relevant area for me, and I'll tell you why, because it's managed to sweep liquidity already. I wouldn't necessarily have to see this get swept again. It's taken that high and that high. Okay, so we do have our buy side available for the taking. Sorry. Buy side available for the taking. Market could trade up, tap into that area and mitigate and push lower. Again, we just need to see how Monday opens up. Strong close. So again, like I said, that's your weekly draw. This is going to be your daily draw as well. Understanding we're using a 2 candle theory in the continuation fashion. I've done a video on this before showing you how we use these 2 candle theories to try and capitalize on what we're looking for the next morning. All right, so simply said, we're going down. DXY going up, and GU and EU going down. So you'll see sweep the high, Fantastic. Honestly. Now, not a convincing candle on GU. I'll tell you why. A little different. So we've had this inversion. Okay, doesn't mean my entire bias is completely different, but we have created a fair value gap. So we could see quite a bit of resistance here on the daily. I would love to see it just absolutely break through that and continue down towards the swing level. Okay, so that would be my immediate swing on liquidity, swing draw. And if you have a look here, again, we managed to trade into our premium pricing and continue down. You go to the daily. Yeah, impulse, pullback. Still respecting this daily fair value gap. We haven't essentially inverted that yet. What I would want to wait for on GU is maybe just setting it aside. I don't mind just sitting on my hands a little bit. I do want to see that close below, market run. Really, this is your immediate draw on liquidity, okay, on your daily and your weekly. So we're going to say that's our weekly draw. And just see our market processes this week. So essentially, we've had a bit of resistance. We managed to take a nice trade this week out of this area. Sweep trading up. And I did do a recap on that if you guys want to have a look at that. But as far as GU goes, we could see a bit of resistance in these areas, given that we have a weekly, we have this daily. We want to see the daily inverted, weekly inverted, giving us a good indication that we're pushing to the downside. Okay. Let's have a look at that weekly again. Sweep of the high, close within the body. Yeah. Okay. So we could say this is your CRT candle. Understanding that we've taken the high, our next obvious draw would be the low. But given that we're so low to that swing, I want to see this taken too. Okay. All right, guys. As I always say, let's just have a look how Monday opens. My immediate draw would be the previous day's low across EU and GU. DXY looks to be trading up. So we could assume this is going to get taken pretty early. If Monday closes up and creates a bit of resistance, I'll just hold off a little bit. But what you do want to see is maybe an aggressive push and another aggressive push leading into this week, giving it a good indication that if we are going to trade, we could look for continuation come Tuesday and Wednesday. And let's see how the market opens. All things considered, we could see a gap up, gap down again. It's market is pretty sensitive at the moment with Donald Trump. So again, let's have a look. As much as what we could anticipate here, it depends on market open come Monday. All right, traders. I hope that helps you out, and we will catch you soon. Cheers.